Welcome to HubNut. My name's Ian. This is another used EV test. This time a 2016 BMW i3 with range extender. It's my second electric car in as many months really that has an engine. So we're going to find out how it works, what they're like to drive. But first of all, just look at the styling. I think the styling of these that were introduced in 2013, ended production in 2022. I think it's just fabulous. It's just nicely different. So the styling is by Richard Kim, who is a Korean American, and I just love it. There's just lines where you don't expect there to be lines. It is a 4-door, so we've got these big front doors, and then the rear doors open like so. Fixed window, can't be lowered, but you got these big windows at the front, frameless styling that can be. So it gives excellent interior access. The body is made of reinforced carbon fibre plastic, effectively, and it's all glued together by a collection of very clever robots in Leipzig in Germany. But I think the carbon fibre itself was made in America. It's a fascinating concept. Big battery underneath the car drives the rear wheels through an electric motor, but there is also an engine hidden in the back of there somewhere that fires up when the car is getting low on charge. When it gets down to about 5%, it extends your range. So it's not a hybrid. That engine cannot drive the wheels in any form. It is solely there as a generator. Coming a bit closer, you can see the carbon fibre tub, and then in this section there is the battery pack. It's 22 kilowatt hours. That's the smallest one they ever did. The realistic usage of which is about 18.7 kilowatt hours. I believe it gives a range of about 70 or 80 miles, depending on terrain and time of year. But might as well just take in this interior. Isn't it amazing? We've got hemp reinforced card for the door cards, and it's all exposed and very, very touchable. And I think it's eucalyptus on the dashboard here. So a deep glove box down there, lovely leather trim work, and these seats again made out of recycled material, I think from plastic bottles. This one's a bit stained and a bit dirty, but it is a regular family car with over 60,000 miles on the clock. But it looks like there's lots of space there, so I think I might hop into the rear and find out. Actually, the fairest way is to go in behind my seat, isn't it? So just pull the handle there. Opens nice and wide. Can't open that without opening the front door first. And oh, it's a bit tight for knee room, but good headroom back here. So I do fit here quite nicely. It's just with the seat set for me, it is a little on the tight side. But I suppose we have got to fit an engine somehow in here. I don't actually know where the engine is. Should we play a game of Hunt the Engine? But a couple of cup holders in the middle here. It is only a 4-seater, and got the Isofix mounts for a child seat, and the seat back will fold down to increase your load space. But yeah, I quite like these. Oh, that makes life easier. Why didn't I think to tilt the rear seat? The control is there, and that allows for a bit more space for the getting in and out. That makes it, yeah, a bit more realistic. But I mean, in truth, because there's no B-pillar, you can just sort of slide in anyway. So intriguing. So we've got electric charge points, and we've got petrol charge points. It's an 8-litre fuel tank, so it's actually really, really small. In America, I think it was made smaller still, so it still passed as an electric car. If the range on petrol was too long, then that wouldn't be good. So they deliberately kept it a little bit lower. Right, if you were an engine, where would you hide? Well, let's go hunting in the back first of all. So we'll open the hatchback, which, if the rear lights go up there, must mean these turn into lights when you open it. We'll have a look at that later on. This looks likely. Oh yeah, right, let's just pull that out temporarily. And unfortunately, this is actually bolted in, so we're not going to be able to see the engine. I don't think I've got a tool to undo that, but you know I'm going to have a look. What's under here? Aha! So there is your dipstick for the checking of the oil on your little engine. Yep, that smells like engine. It's a 647cc twin cylinder made by Kimco. And Kimco is actually a Taiwanese company, and it supplied that engine previously for a scooter made by BMW. So engine from Taiwan, we've got bits of carbon fiber from America. It's a very, very global car. Well, as I can't show you the engine, I'm either going to overlay some footage, or I'm going to get the owner, see if he's got any tools, and we'll see if we can have a look later on. I just want to see, what does it look like? I'm curious to know. Well, let's just take in the skinny tyres. Got 155s on the front and 175s on the back, so surprisingly narrow. Just find the key and I can open up the front luggage area-ish. Yeah, there's not a fat lot here. You can see windscreen wipers, which they do seem to change for right-hand drive. Look, they've cut them out for extra lightness. And we've got a bag of charging cables. So there is a tiny little frunk if you leave your charging cables at home. So we've got the ones there. I think that's your 13 amp, and I think it's possibly got a type 2 as well. So one to plug into a socket at home and one to use on chargers if you're out and about. But that is about all that's under here, apart from your screen wash. So jumping in the front, the first thing that strikes you is this enormous gear controller on the side. So we've got park is up there. That's your stop start to start the vehicle, and this is your gear selector. So it goes through the gears like so. Windscreen wipers, much as you'd expect. Really, seal ourselves in. Buttons galore, screens. I've got a couple of screens as well. I really like this steering wheel. For a modern car, it seems to have a really slim design. Generally, I love the look of it in here. We've got BMW's iDrive, so menus and things. Cup holders galore. There's storage under here. There's storage in here, and very easy to adjust it to where you want it. And yeah, very comfortable seats, of a little firm. So it's quite stylish in here. Did hazard light check. Very, very electronic noise. We've got map reading lights up here, and you can turn off the passenger airbag and SOS. In case of emergency, nice big door mirrors, nice deep windows actually, and quite classy door handles, your electric mirror controls, buttons on the steering wheel of course. So it's all pretty good in here. Let's start her up, wake her up. There we go, and now we can go about the all-important business of the windscreen wiper test. And yeah, it's definitely set for right-hand drive, isn't it? Notice it covers much less screen on the passenger side. Lots of screen wash, so we have got some dribbles of disappointment going on, but only mild disappointment. Good overlap. The triangle hidden by the mirror. Hello. So that's all good. And yeah, I'm going to say that's a good wiping performance. I like that. Let's swap around to the rear. And if I can find out how to wash. There we go. Very effective. Nice little wiper. But you will notice the head restraints do block a little bit of rear vision, I find. But nonetheless, a satisfactory wiping performance. If you look at the view I actually get in the rear view mirror, you can see that the head restraints do rob a bit. I guess you could probably move those down if you felt the need. But okay, wiping performance. Okay then, let's get the old seatbelt on and we can actually take this puppy for a drive. I apologise, 56,000 miles on the clock, not over 60,000. So rotate the lever into drive. Has got an electronic handbrake, but it doesn't appear to be automatic and we haven't set it. So we'll just use that as little as possible, I think. Set off around this rather rustic car park. This is at the George Pub. Thank you to George Pub for unknowingly letting me use your car park. It's a very nice car park. The stalks are of the toggle variety, so they don't stay in position, which means they just quietly stop activating as the steering straightens out. But it's certainly very smooth, very quiet, a very high level of refinement. Thank you, Mr. Binman. It certainly feels very high quality, very refined, very quiet indeed. And I don't know if you can adjust the levels of regen, but it has a pretty strong regen. In fact, it was initially too strong on the early i3s. It could cause the rear end to lock up, which obviously is considered fairly detrimental to the handling in most cases. But yeah, it's a very nice, very quiet vehicle. I think we can go up this way. It feels very, very special. It feels unlike any electric car I've ever driven, which is this wood, which I've learned is not eucalyptus. It's just very carefully cultivated European wood. I don't know what wood. If you know, let me know down in the comments. It just, yeah, it feels really nice. I love the driving position. It feels like you're surrounded by glass, which is very unusual for a modern car. In total, they managed to make 250,000 of these, which I think is very impressive. The biggest market being Germany, unsurprisingly, followed by the United States. The i3 was the first of the BMW i's, the second one being the i8, which actually had an engine. Nice yellow Audi A2 there. Put the wipers in auto mode and we'll see how responsive they are. Yeah, it certainly feels very planted. Steering is very, very direct. And as we said, wind noise is pretty minimal given we got so much frameless glass. These side windows are enormous. So we're cruising along now at 50 miles an hour. The ride is a little rugged at times. The range is currently showing us 42 miles. It's just above halfway. What we were hoping to do, and what I haven't managed to do, is get the engine to fire up. I might have to drive quite a long time to get that to happen, because like I say, we've currently got plenty of range. There is apparently a hold mode which will hold the charge, so if you were driving on roads like this, you can get the range extender to kick in early and make sure you've got range for driving around town when you get there. A bit like the Chevrolet Volt we tested recently. The range extenders can have issues. Oh my gosh, bright yellow Hummer H2. Yeah, this is really nice. The range extender, lay-by, just going to make use of that. The range extenders engines can be a little problematic. They are known for having the odd issue. I have to indicate left again to cancel? No? There we go, a little bit down, and we'll go. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that gets up to 50 very quickly. Really nice, that sort of electric shove. Very nice, and weirdly, it does kind of feel like you're being pushed from the rear, which of course you are, but I guess it's because the front end isn't scrabbling for grip because it's rear wheel drive, not front. But yeah, I think a lot of the range extender engine problems are because the engines often don't get a lot of use. This car barely uses its engine. It has been used in the past for longer journeys, but primarily it's used for local pottering and gets charged when it needs to be charged. So the engine doesn't see a lot of use. So need to do more hard acceleration to get rid of the battery power. Well, it's only a 9 litre or 8 or 9 litre fuel tank, so it's not a massive range extender. I think the combined range of this vehicle is probably only 150, 160 miles. So the idea being that you can just go that little bit further to get to the next charge point. Whereas if you'd just gone for the pure battery version, yeah, every 70 miles you'd have to be finding a charger. So it's just to give people a bit more confidence. They later dropped, in the UK at least, the range extender version because they were able to fit larger battery packs, which kind of addressed the range shortcomings just by having more electric range. Well, I've actually managed to find out how to do it while we've been going in this clue. So actually you can navigate around this quite easily while keeping an eye on the road. Lovely transit there. So we now got the engine running because I've managed to put it in hold state of charge, and That's pretty quiet. You can hardly hear that at all. That is certainly a lot quieter than the Volkswagen XL1, the weird little super aerodynamic baby supercar that Volkswagen made that has a 2-cylinder diesel engine that just sounds like a cement mixer right behind your head. I don't know if you can even hear it. It's pretty peaceful. We're on a 57% charge at the moment, 34 miles of electric range, so the engine's running just to hold that. So I guess that is the big advantage here, that you can just keep your range where you want it to be. Downside being you've got an engine that needs servicing, you've got to carry this engine around all the time with you, and yeah, all that extra weight. I wonder if you get more boot space in the non-Rex version. I would imagine so. Obviously, there is nowhere to put a spare wheel at all, so you are reliant on the magic spray. Of course, we've got different sized tyres front and rear as well, so you're always going to have a bit of an issue. But certainly, it is a lovely thing to drive. It's got that BMW feel with the switch gear and just the overall vibe. It feels very, very nice. I'm liking this a lot. I thought I'd probably like the BMW i3, and I do. I think I've not really demonstrated it is the turning circle. It is phenomenal. So if we go for a junction turn here, it's like the rear wheel is just on the spot. It is astonishingly good. Handling is, given how skinny the tyres are, it handles really well and seems to grip more than you'd expect. Now what would really get the range down would be some fast motorways, but that was a brief burst of dual carriageway. We seem to have run out of that. And of course, as soon as I ease off, I'm putting charge back into the battery again. We're at 53.5% at the moment, and if for some reason it's not letting me hold this state of charge, which is all a bit peculiar. These roundabout markings are the most ridiculous I've seen in my life, where the A36 meets the A361. Oh, I do love that electric shove. EVs are just the best automatic there ever was, because you come to a stop and there's just silence, and it's just seamless power. I was worried it would feel a bit wayward, because it is quite a high vehicle, but actually you don't sit that high up. I thought maybe it would be a bit van-like, but no, it does very much feel like a car. I guess because the floor is fairly high to make sure there's room for the battery underneath. Actually, I think I'm going to go this way just for a spur at the moment, because driving on these boring fast roads is boring. Yeah, steering's got a lovely feel. Yeah, this is a nice car to drive quickly. Again, because you've got that battery low down, really lowers the centre of gravity. You haven't got any weight at the front of the vehicle at all. And having the battery between the wheels really does give it a really good balanced feel. Something else that's good is the overtaking shove. So we're doing 30. If I put my foot down, that's 60. So you just get that punch for getting round stuff. It's really good, and no lag, because you haven't got a regular transmission. It's a one-speed transmission, effectively. There's a lot to like here. In terms of prices, values-wise, you can pick these up for about $4.5 as an older, privately owned example that's not going to be perfect. And prices range up to about 12 for a much later one, because of course they were still in production until 2022, so some of them are still quite young. Yeah, you get the choice. Do you want battery power or do you want range extender? And I think if you're going for the smaller battery, certainly range extender is probably the way to go. But it depends on your use. I think a lot of people probably go for a range extender for that bit of comfort, and then find they very rarely use it, because so much of your driving is pottering locally. But yeah, it must be a bit annoying that with such a tiny fuel tank, you're going to have to refuel and recharge. So number of petrol stations that offer both these days is on the rise, so that's a good thing. But I think the tank is so small, because the engine may get occasional use, it's to ensure the fuel doesn't go stale. And I believe the engine will actually force a run if it feels like it hasn't run for long enough. So something to bear in mind. Well, there we go, folks. A very enjoyable drive in the BMW i3. I'm still slightly annoyed I can't force the engine to run. It'd just be nice to hear it. Haha! With the owner's toolkit, we have managed to hack our way in. We've got the cover removed. Here is that twin-cylinder engine, and I presume this is all the charger gubbins right next to it, because there isn't space for all this up front. So where your high voltage power comes in and is directed towards the battery. Fascinating stuff. Aha! We've just got the cover on. Dan has managed to get it to fire up. There you go, that's what the range extender engine sounds like. Don't say we don't do things properly on HubNut. A very interesting car, and as the prices come down sub 10 grand, very intriguing. And a decent family car as well, because if you've got kiddie seats in the back, the pillarless design means it's much easier to access the rear seats. So a very useful little vehicle that is really, really nice to drive. So huge thanks to the owner, for Dan, for letting me drive this car, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell. So the rear lights, obviously we've got them there, but as I open the hatch, the indicators transfer to down here. So that's quite a nice feature. How clever. Right, go and run through the other lights. Bung, bung. Brake lights. There we go, reverse lights. Parking sensors, shut up. Thank you.